one of the best defensive coordinators in the country that just won a national championship, might be on the move. Jay Smith, Locked On Sooners, joining me here. This has been a whirlwind of a 24-hour news cycle surrounding Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defensive coordinator, Jay, because there was an incorrect report that came out on Rivals yesterday that said he had been hired by the Sooners. Now, that appeared to have been a pre-published story because there is an anticipation that Oklahoma is going to get him. Let's start there. As we're recording the show, your thoughts on whether Jim Knowles will or will not be the next defensive coordinator for the Oklahoma Sooners?
Well, it sounds like the conversation is happening, that there's legitimate interest on both sides, and him going down by the end of this week, I don't know. I'm probably in a 50-50 space right now because it sounds like there's other teams also getting involved. We have to keep in mind, not only did the runner-up in the national championship lose their defensive coordinator, Golden is headed to the Cincinnati Bengals. The team that was in the semifinals, Penn State, lost their defensive coordinator, Tom Allen, to Clemson. So he just basically bounced. And the crazy thing is, he kind of bounced in a way to where he just like snuck out in the middle of the night. You know, they were all, partying, having a good time, everybody getting drunk, just celebrating that they made it where they made it. And they wake up the next morning like, wait, where's Tom at? You just get an announcement, Tom Allen, whatever jingle you want to put in there is now at Clemson. So yeah, he's just waving from the carriage as it's taking him away.
It's like I'm going down to Clemson, in a lateral move at best.
Exactly. But it made sense though, because he was going closer to home. Supposedly he has daughters that are in the Carolinas. So either in North Carolina or South Carolina, doesn't matter. He's in Clemson, South Carolina. So he's a lot closer to family. And that has been the thing that's been floating around social media around Jim Knowles. Supposedly he has his fiance lives in Oklahoma, has a son that plays ball here. And that's all everybody's talking about. It's, he's trying to get back closer to her. Granted, he is 59 years old. I totally would get that. You're getting older, and all the flying is not fun as you get older. People think it's fun. It ain't when you got to do it, especially the way he has to do those turnarounds because he's in football season, and he's got to go recruit, even though I heard he doesn't like that. So my point is, my confidence level ain't the highest yet until I see someone sign on the line, which is dotted.
Yeah, and the travel in the SEC, not as extensive as the Big Ten.
At all.
Not even remote. Texas and Oklahoma, look, there is a part of me, big part of me, that wishes they were still flagship carrying members of the Big 12 conference, but geographically, they very much fit the Southeastern Conference mold. They are in the southern part of the United States, at least. But this would be a home run, grand slam, out of the park, Freddie Freeman game one of the World Series, walk-off level hire to me because Knowles is phenomenal. I mean, Ryan Day gets a lot of the discussion because he's the head coach, and you know what? He deserves it with all the crap that he's taken over the last several years and not beating Michigan, all that stuff. He deserves his flowers now. But one of the reasons that Ohio State's sitting here as the national champions from this past year is he hired a couple of coordinators that are really good. And Oregon went into their place a few years ago and beat them, and they realized, this is not the right defensive coordinator, and they went and got Jim Knowles, and he's been great. They hired him from Oklahoma State. And when Bill O'Brien moved on, he went and got a guy who he knows really well in Chip Kelly. I mean, those two guys were really good throughout. If Oklahoma pulls him from Ohio State, Jay, they'd be looking down the barrel. I think of the best overall offseason of any team in the SEC when you're talking about how much better you were than the year before.
Yeah, you get two of the best defensive minds in college football, and it's been proven. I mean, Jim Knowles ascended Oklahoma State all the way up with his defensive play. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get them that Big 12 championship that they almost won they were short by a couple of inches, literally an inch away from winning the Big 12 championship back when he was there. Then he goes to Ohio State, revamps that defense, and got to give props to Ryan Day, as you mentioned. He, as an offensive mind, he decided that, no, you know what? I'm going to step away. I'm going to run time management and manage that properly, but I'm going to let my coordinators do their jobs. He gets Chip Kelly to quit his job as a head coach at UCLA to come over as an offensive coordinator. Still a baffling move by him, but whatevs. Probably that travel.
He just won a national championship.
Well, fair there, but I mean, at the time, hindsight 50-50, so I totally agree that now is like, heck yeah, you won a natty. But he was
but there was also some internal strife, I think, at least between the UCLA fans and Chip Kelly. I think they said this was a great experiment and all, but we don't feel like this is the best path forward. Chip didn't love all the aspects of being a head coach in modern college football. That has been widely reported. I actually thought it made a lot of sense, and he's, of course, paid that off in the biggest way.
Yeah, he did. He got that national championship that he was wanting and looking for, and boom, done deal. But the other question you have with that is, like, you move on from a head coaching spot to go to an offensive coordinator. Is your goal to go back up? Are you trying to ascend back up? Like Jim Knowles is a great example. Like I said, Ryan Day gives him the entire reins of the defense, and Knowles was a head coach one time, Cornell University, his alma mater, but he hasn't been one since. And now those discussions have come back in of Jim Knowles to Oklahoma, but it sounds like Penn State's looking because Knowles is from Philadelphia. So as a Cornell grad and former player and former head coach, there's an opportunity to go back closer to home. Is that what he wants to do? Me personally, I realize that most older people getting to 60 years old prefer to be in warmer climates rather than colder climates. So I'm trying to figure out what's the play of going to Happy Valley, being up there at State College, even though I know it's a beautiful area. It is almost impossible to get in there with any ease. You're driving 2 hours from some random major airport to get there. It's a trek. So what is he looking forward to do? Or is he leveraging this with both teams as a way to get more money out of Ohio State or more power? That could be it too. I've heard rumors of internal strifes there, that there's some pushback there of Jim Knowles having that much control. I don't know. But I do believe that Oklahoma has a legitimate chance. We just got to see if by the time because they do their parade on Sunday, Ohio State does, if he decides to make an announcement before that or after.
If Oklahoma pulls this off, it would be a phenomenal move by Brent Venables to hire 2 new coordinators, get a new quarterback in the portal in John Mateer from Washington State with his OC, Ben Arbuckle. And Penn State, I know, is also wanting to get Jim Knowles to be their defensive coordinator, and that would be, I think, a third straight really high-level defense coordinator for Penn State. I think the pitch, if you're the Nittany Lions, is they have higher playoff and national title aspirations in 2025 than Oklahoma does. So that might come down to, what do you want if you're Jim Knowles? Do you want to give it one more try with a team that's got a real shot here, or do you want to go to Oklahoma and maybe play a little bit more of the long game? Like, yeah, Oklahoma can be good this year. I don't know that they go from, the season they had to suddenly in the national championship picture entirely, but I don't know. That's something that only Jim Knowles knows the answer to. But if Oklahoma pulls that off, Jay, I mean, it would be outstanding. Heck, by the time you're listening to or watching this segment, it might have already happened. And if it has, we'll be doing a segment on this again next week with Jay Smith of Locked On Sooners.